Watch and burn.
So tonight I wanted to discuss, well, actually a few books throughout the course of the next handful of videos. Now, whether or not they're going to be shown in any kind of order where they'll be referencing each other or something or other. What the fuck does referencing each other even mean? I don't know why I said that. It doesn't even make a little sense. But anyways, yeah, tonight in this series of videos that I will be recording now that you will most likely not see in any kind of order whatsoever, I'm going to be discussing a handful of books that I have loved. Some I've recently discovered, and some I've loved for some time. The first of which tonight is going to be Lana Del Rey's book of poems, Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass. This was released a little while ago. I think it was released last year, give or take. There's also a cassette as well as a CD and vinyl release where I believe Lana herself is reading the poems back. It's fun, but I decided to buy the book over the audio components because, or the audio options, components, oh fuck, for Christ's sakes. Because I read a lot and I like books, so I have a bunch of them. And I have to say, you know what? I've loved Lana Del Rey I've loved Lana Del Rey since Born to Die, roughly a decade back now. Thought everything that she's done has been fantastic. The only record of hers that I didn't absolutely love, I think like everyone else who's into Lana Del Rey, is Honeymoon. Even though I will say that did have a couple really kick-ass songs. If I'm not mistaken, Blackest Day is on there. And I absolutely love that song. But yeah, I've always thought as far as her lyrical content was concerned, I always found her stuff to be a little darker. And it's kind of had a lot of weight. And it's kind of downbeat for the most part. And over the course of time, that my opinion there has changed somewhat because I do see the humor in some of her lyrics. But overall, I always found there to have this sort of like beatnik negativity to them that I really like. And so when she finally released a book of poems that she'd written, I was really excited because I get a chance to like really dig into her brain, so to speak, and see exactly just how much she had to offer. And I have to say, I love everything about this book. I love the design. I love how it feels like it looks as though it was written decades back, which is kind of her thing. Everything about this screams like 1973. There's a number of a number of photos strewn throughout, which I believe Lana has taken throughout the course of time. And the poems themselves, I have to say, they're quite good. For somebody who's not really into poetry, um, so I suppose my capacity for reviewing this will be limited somewhat as the result of that. But nonetheless, I have to say this book was really, really easy to read. Some of the poems are incredibly long, and they are a few pages apiece. Other poems, like you can see here, are very short, and I do prefer shorter poetry. Poetry. Why can't I talk? But anyways, I do prefer shorter poems because I find that they pack more punch. Um, I like I like the way she writes. It feels honest. I don't get the vibe that she's like some pop starlet, like reaching beyond her capacity or her abilities, and she's trying to be something she's not. I believe every word in here. She's about as genuine as anyone, which is nice because modern pop can sometimes be very shallow. Even though with Lana Del Rey, I kind of always did sort of get like an old soul vibe from her. And these poems in here only really serve to reinforce that. I mean, I love the photography, the photos that pop up from time to time. What the fuck is that? Is that in the middle of the screen? I doubt it. It says 458, 459. I seriously doubt it. But nonetheless, I hope that's not in the middle of the screen. Now I'm freaked out. Got a new camera app tonight to record. So I could record these, but I could first mess with the ISO and whatnot, shutter speeds, and there's a number in the middle of the screen. That must be for me just to be able to keep my eye on it, even though it's in red and I'm colorblind, so it's difficult to do that. Huh, Jesus Christ, now I'm all worried. Well, I'm going to see this one through, and then I'm going to have to take this all down and go to the computer and pull it off and make sure that it's not there. But anyways, yes, this is really, I like the paper it's printed on. Again, it feels old. I like how some of the pages are yellowed, which I'm sure, you know, it's more like yellow paper as opposed to actually aged, of course. But I love how the photos look ancient. I love the quality of the work. Like, I believe her, like I said, 110%. I mean, I measure time by the days I've spent away from you. That thought occurred to me as I watched the sky go dark from blue. See, I can really appreciate that. I think most of us can. Anybody who's ever had a relationship end in any way can probably get something out of words like that. And that's probably pretty much everybody on planet Earth. So, yeah, I mean, Lana Del Rey's Book of Poems was a knockout success for me. I will say again, though, I am biased. I really, really, really like her music. And I've been into her now since pretty much her beginning. Well, not technically her beginning. Born to Die, if I'm not mistaken, is her second record. But that's when I got into her. It was Born to Die, and then the Paradise Edition came out, and Ride's on there. God, I love Ride. And eventually, I will be discussing all of Lana Del Rey's work on this channel. I haven't yet, and that's a good thing because it gives me even more fun stuff to talk about. But yeah, so I'm going to go. Thank you so much for sitting and listening to me talk somewhat senselessly about Lana Del Rey's Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass. Came out, I think, last year, 2020, 2021, give or take. If it was 2020, then it's 2 years there, jackass. But whatever. Thank you, and yeah, have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.